Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Freight, sponsored by Ceresys, a North American transportation management third-party logistics company. We hope you've been enjoying this new weekly series. This is now our 5th episode. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ceresys Inc. to catch all the previous episodes that we've done so far. Remember, each week we cover a single topic related to freight and transportation management. That way you can get an actionable piece of learning that you can take back and add to your own knowledge base to improve your best practices and shipping at your location. So this week we're going to continue a mini-series that we started last week all about freight claims. Last week we defined what are freight claims and what are the 4 types of freight claims. So make sure you go back to our YouTube channel to check that video out. So we're going to continue our series about freight claims, and this week we're going to talk about the main law that governs all of the over-the-road transportation modes trucking here in North America. That's called the Carmack Amendment. Now, freight claim loss is almost a taboo subject in modern shipping. No one wants to deal with it, but it's something that you're going to have to deal with at some point as a shipper. So, knowledge is absolute power. Remember, carriers may deal with thousands of freight claims every single year. You may only deal with a handful of freight claims. So they're going to have a lot more experience than you. And there aren't really any certifications out there, so you're kind of left to find out information on your own. But don't worry, that's why we're here, to arm you with that knowledge. Now, one of the first things that you're going to want to know when it comes to freight claims is that it is a legal issue. That means you need to understand the laws and who's responsible for what. So let's talk about the Carmack Amendment a little bit today. It is the main governing law for trucking freight claims. Now there are different laws for ocean and air. We won't cover those because that's not really our specialty here at Ceresys. We more cover trucking and transportation management. So we're going to stick to that for today. So the Carmack Amendment governs freight claims. It protects buyers and sellers against undue damage on the part of the carrier. However, just because your freight's damaged or it's lost doesn't mean you can always file a freight claim. There are some exemptions. Some exemptions like an act of God. That might be a tornado, hurricane, nobody can help that. A public enemy, shipper's negligence, maybe you did something wrong. There could be government-issued policies that may override that freight claim. And inherent vice. Maybe there's some dubious negligence on the part of someone involved in that shipping process. And as we said, when it comes to freight claims, and especially laws, the more you know, the better. Carriers have a duty to disprove allegations of negligence. Again, remember, they're going to want to do that, and they're very good at it. They don't want to pay your freight claim in full. It hurts their bottom line if they have to continually pay out. But that doesn't mean you should give up just because they're pushing back. You need to keep pushing yourself. You have 9 months to file a claim. However, we definitely encourage you to file your claim as soon as damage occurs. Now, when it comes to freight claims, also known as Title 49, U.S. Code 14706, it is on the shipper to show these 3 elements immediately. Delivery of shipment to carrier in good condition, delivery of shipment to the consignee short, in damaged condition, or unreasonably late, and the dollar amount of those damages incurred. The Carmack Amendment was adopted in order to establish a uniform nationwide standard of liability for freight loss and damage. Originally for water carriers in 1906, and subsequently for motor carriers in 1935. A regulated motor carrier operating in interstate commerce is liable for freight loss, damage, and delay pursuant to the Carmack Amendment. Now, the mode of transportation dictates any additional stipulations, as does the freight rules tariff from the carrier. So that's it. That's the Carmack Amendment. If you need to know more, make sure you check out the description where we're going to put a link to a blog post that covers all of the laws that govern freight claims on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe as well so you don't miss out on a single episode every single Friday of Talking Freight. To make it easier, hit that little bell button. That way you get an email as soon as we hit publish, and you can watch it right away. And make sure you like us on Facebook, where we'll publish these episodes, or follow our LinkedIn company page to not only get each episode each Friday, but did you know that we've published over 1,000 blog posts related to transportation management and logistics? In fact, that blog is award-winning. We promise that you're going to get a lot of information. Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Talking Freight. Have a great rest of your week, and tune in next time.